Johnny Wrestling and the Psycho Killer. Holy shit. Let's talk about it. You know, one of the highly asked questions that I get all year round so far is, JD, what is your favorite match in WWE for 2016? Now, I consider NXT part of WWE because that's just the way I think. And I always answer every single question with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, NXT TakeOver Dallas. Now, the follow-up question is something that is really odd to me, because 9 times out of 10 people will ask me why. There's no storyline built there, and the match was thrown together as a marquee match for WrestleMania 32 weekend on a pay-per-view. Interpret it as you want. You can go in there and watch that match and interpret it however you want. I interpreted it a different way. You see, sometimes you don't need 4, 5, 6 weeks of storyline build between two characters leading into a pay-per-view. Sometimes the wrestling itself is the storyline. That match proved to you that storyline and overbearing scripts and fucking dialogue and this and that sometimes is not even needed to make a match absolutely brilliant. Sami Zayn, the heart and soul of NXT, went into NXT Dallas. We all knew it was going to be, or possibly be, his last match in NXT. He was the lifeblood of NXT. And the smile that he had on his face before that match even started, in which he tried to hide and failed badly at doing so when he was watching Shinsuke Nakamura do his thing in the ring, was fucking fantastic. That was the story to me. The fact that Sami Zayn was being sent off in what could be the match of the year at the end of the year in WWE. Nakamura coming over from New Japan, huge free agent signing for WWE, huge get for NXT. Legendary status over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. His charisma with that theme song that we instantly fell in love with. 9,000 people in Dallas for NXT TakeOver. That's the story. And then what happened in the ring pretty much solidified everything about that match. You did not need overbearing storylines, scripts, and dialogues. What those guys did for 25 minutes in that ring was the story. Tonight, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa proved again that you do not need overbearing dialogue, scripts, and storyline to tell a great story in the ring. And the fact that these two guys went in there and gave you 11 minutes of fucking some of the hardest hitting action you will see all year in WWE is the story. Now, if I showed you guys this match and you did not know who they were, and I told you, you know, these guys are tag team partners, nobody would fucking look me in the eyes and believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. What a fucking match. And I swear to God, if you guys missed this show tonight, if you were doing something, if you were getting home late from work, if you were cooking dinner, if you forgot it was on, whatever the case may be, if you enjoy watching my reviews and if you enjoy listening to me and you value my opinion, I am telling you this right now, square away 15 minutes and watch this fucking match. You will not regret it. I swear to God. These guys are tag team partners, and that's the only thing that these guys needed to go in that ring and literally have the best match of this tournament so far. This was the best match of the first round. Absolutely no question. By the end of the match, when the bell rung, we all love professional wrestling. Okay? I'm not saying it's the greatest match in the fucking world, but you know when something is special, and you know when you enjoy something. When the bell rung and the closing sequence of this tournament for the first round came to a close, and Ciampa and Gargano were sitting next to each other in the ring, I wanted to actually shed a tear. And I'm not being a pussy. I'm not being a fucking fanboy. It's the fact that when you watch something like we seen tonight between two guys who are tag team partners and had absolutely no other story going into this match, the fact that I told you that by the end of the night, when CIAMPA did not want to fucking shake Gargano's hand, but he turned around anyway, went back into the ring, sat next to him, and they hugged. The fact that I wanted to shed a tear is the only fucking story that you need. That is it. That is it. There were rumors going around before this match even aired that Gargano was legit fucking hurt in this match. And after watching it and then correlating that with the reports that I read, there's absolutely no fucking question that he walked away from this match okay. There was something wrong with him. I don't know whether it was from one of the Pele kicks. I don't know if it was from the white noise type maneuver, the air raid move that he did on the outside on the ring apron that did it. Or it could have easily been the fucking back elbow that CIAMPA gave Gargano in the beginning of this match. And I swear to God, Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo said that spit went flying in the air. To me, it looked like a fucking tooth. And Gargano was legit shaken up as he rolled to the outside. And he was literally, the only thing holding up his body was the barricade on the outside of the ring. One of the most vicious fucking spots. And it was an elbow, mind you, I've seen all year in WWE. I swear to God, I swear he lost a tooth. I swear he lost a tooth, man. This match was fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. They didn't give a fuck that they were tag team partners. They did not even give a flying fuck about what's going on with them in NXT, man. This is the Cruiserweight Classic. These guys had two things in mind. Number one winner, and that's it. I don't give a shit who it's going to be. I'm going to fucking kick your ass. Number two, listen, we want to show these guys why not only we are one of the best tag teams in WWE, but solo, we can do the same fucking thing, and that's exactly what they did, man. There was a spot in this match where it was CIAMPA picking up Gargano into a powerbomb, and he turned it into a backstabber, man. I swear to God, I thought it was over after that. Moves like that need to end matches. Gargano kicked out. Stunned. Everybody was fucking going crazy. Ranallo, Bryan were at the top of their game. The crowd was literally standing on their feet watching this fucking match. There was not one person sitting down watching this match after that fucking backstabber. Unbelievable. Ciampa was stunned. Stunned. And I can't tell if that was my buddy Falcon in the ring or if it's really Tommaso Ciampa. I don't know, man. They look identical to me. And I'm wondering, I'm looking at Falcon and I'm listening to his review at work today. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm looking at Ciampa on my television today. I'm like, oh shit, look, it's Falcon. So, anyway, if you guys don't know who he is, I'll leave you a link down in the description, man. Huge WWE fan. Great reviews each and every week, just like me. Go check him out. But regardless of that, man, the chops, the fucking punches, knees, they were all landing. All landing on Gargano, man. He definitely walked out of here fucking shaken up. He was fucking, he had to be dizzy. He had to be one of those guys after a match where he doesn't know where the fuck he is. Seriously, that's how hard Ciampa just leveled into him, man. Like I said, they didn't give a shit that they were tag team partners, or at least Ciampa did not give a shit that he was tag team partners with Gargano, man, because he went out there and let shit fly. Chops rock Johnny, and a right hand makes Ciampa angry. Ciampa loads up his armbar. He gets out of it. Johnny Gargano gets out of it, counters into a crucifix, surprising everybody after the beating that he took. At 10 minutes and 49 seconds, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, beats the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa, with a crucifix. At the end, Ciampa was about to walk out of the ring. Gargano went to shake his hand. Ciampa wanted to walk out of the ring, but the crowd started chanting, "Get back in there," and then hug it out. He gets back in the ring, sits in the ring next to Gargano, Indian style, with his legs crossed, and they embrace and they hug, and everybody's going crazy, man. Literally the best match of the first round. Go out of your way to watch it. There was literally everything that you want for a cruiserweight match in this match tonight, in the main event. There was a fucking huge tope. Not like a Big E fucking botched tope through the ropes. Not like a Sasha Banks botched tope through the ropes. Johnny Gargano landed one of the most beautiful topes you'll see this year, man. Unbelievable. Physical fucking match. Everything that you want in a main event tonight. Unbelievable. I can't wait for their match at TakeOver against the Revival. Unbelievable, guys. I love both of these guys so much. Great match. Gargano advances and he moves on to the next round. TJ Perkins versus Johnny Gargano will be a second round match. Take my fucking money right now. Oh my God. The other thing I was very interested to check out this week was Fabian Aichner versus Jack Gallagher. Now, Jack Gallagher is hilarious, man. You see this guy and you think, what the fuck am I looking at, man? He's got colorful tights. He's fucking white like Sheamus. He's got one of them fucking twisty mustaches like the Monopoly Man. Daniel Bryan was fucking jerking off behind the announce table. He was like, oh, I love this guy, man. And then Mauro Ranallo was like, are you going with Jack Gallagher now, or are you sticking with Brian Kendrick as your pick? Because you're really fanboying right now over Jack Gallagher. But Fabian Aichner, man, this guy was no fucking pushover. This guy is fucking built. Italy. He's built from Italy. Gallagher from England. And these guys put on a decent match for the time that they were given, man. 7 minutes. Jack Gallagher wins with a running drop kick in the corner. And I want you guys to picture Daniel Bryan's running drop kick in the corner. This guy did it even better, man. Fucking brutal drop kick. Holy shit. That ended Fabian Aichner in the corner. Fucking at the end of the match, thank you both. And Daniel Bryan, again, proclaimed that he was in love with Jack Gallagher, man. Very interesting. And Jack Gallagher is advancing to the next round. Both men were billed as technical wrestlers, man. You've seen some of the technical moves that Jack Gallagher possesses. He was kind of showing off in the middle of the match. Fabian Aichner, at first glance, it looks like he's more... You know, he's more of a power guy. You're not going to see much technical wrestling out of him. And he tried to wrestle Gallagher in the beginning of the match and then said, fuck this shit. He went with the knife-edge chops and the big power moves. You know, he went for a huge frog splash off the top rope that missed. He wanted to play to his strengths. And that was really what we wanted to see from him because he's built like a fucking beast. But Jack Gallagher, man... Great performance, and he's advancing. He's actually going on to the second round, and in my notes here, he is going against Akira Tozawa in the second round. That's going to be something interesting to look out for, and that's actually, I don't know if that's happening next week or not, but I'll go over the second round at the end of this review here. The other two matches that happened tonight, man, I really wasn't all that impressed with. Rich Swann, I love Rich Swann, don't get me wrong. Noam Dar versus Gurv Sira. He was the second of the Bollywood boys. This is Scotland versus India. I'm going to be completely upfront with you guys. I did not care for this match. The crowd was literally dead for this match. Noam Dar, you guys were telling me he was in What Culture Pro Wrestling. He was doing a few things over there. He's very impressive. I wasn't impressed tonight. He advanced to the second round with a knee bar, beating Gurv Sira. So hopefully I come around to him in the second round. Noam Dar is actually going up against Ho Ho Lun in the second round, and that's going to be interesting for the second round. And the opening match tonight, we've seen Rich Swann, who I love, man. His athleticism is fucking infectious. Holy shit. He's built from America. Jason Lee looks like somebody out of fucking Mortal Kombat. He's from Hong Kong, dancing with nunchucks. Or dancing versus nunchucks, I should say. You got Rich Swann. Crowd was absolutely in love with Rich Swann. Jason Lee comes out with the nunchucks. His style is more of a, I don't know, man, ground-based with kind of kung fu. So it was very interesting. This match lasted 3 minutes and 49 seconds, and the athleticism of Rich Swann was noticeable right out of the gate, man. Standing 450s. This guy was bouncing off the ropes doing fucking 450 flips, and then he actually did a standing 450 splash on the mat. Not even off the top rope, a standing 450, which was absolutely picture perfect. His height and this guy's jump was unbelievable. He did a standing Hurricane Rana as he was standing on the mat, and Jason Lee was perched on top of the turnbuckle, standing Hurricane Rana. Unbelievable. Rich Swann, I hope he advances, man. I would love to see him advance far in this tournament. He's actually going up against Lince Dorado. That's going to be a great match, man. So, outside of everything, we had Fabian Aichner and Jack Gallagher, and then Gargano and Ciampa, which were the two matches that really a lot of people paid attention to tonight. Noam Dar and Gurv Sira, and then we had Jason Lee. They were very underwhelming to me. Rich Swann was a fucking beast. But all in all, man, that Gargano-Ciampa match made the fucking night for this tournament. Holy shit. Literally the best match, in my honest opinion, of this tournament. Now, moving on to the second round. Akira Tozawa versus Jack Gallagher. We have Tajiri versus Gran Metalik. Drew Gulak versus Zack Sabre Jr., Noam Dar versus Ho Ho Lun, Brian Kendrick versus Tony Nese, Kota Ibushi, which is actually coming up next week, versus Cedric Alexander, TJ Perkins versus Johnny Gargano, and Lince Dorado versus Rich Swann. So the second round is shaping up to be absolutely cannot miss, man. Great night. Ciampa and Gargano literally made this show can't miss, and I want you guys to go out and watch that. First round is over with. I cannot wait for the second round to give you guys just a quick opinion about who I think is going to advance in the second round. I think we're going to see Jack Gallagher beat Akira Tozawa. I think we're going to see Gran Metalik beat Tajiri. I think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to beat Drew Gulak. Ho Ho Lun, I think, is going to beat Noam Dar. He's going to advance. I think Ho Ho Lun is that Cinderella story in the tournament. I think that's what they're going to pretty much build off him with. Brian Kendrick versus Tony Nese. I want Tony Nese to win because I love his physique. I love the way he just moves in the ring. He's got the look of a fucking beast. Brian Kendrick, though, I think is going to pull this one out. Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander, man. This is a tough one. I would love if Cedric Alexander advances to the next round, but I don't think he's going to get past Kota Ibushi. I think Kota Ibushi is actually going all the way to the finals. He's actually going to win this thing, in my honest opinion. But I think Kota Ibushi and Cedric Alexander are going to be one of the probably best matches of this entire tournament, and I can't wait to see what Cedric Alexander pulls out against Ibushi. Ibushi's going to beat Alexander. TJ Perkins versus Johnny Gargano. I honestly think Gargano's going to win this one. I would love if TJ Perkins wins. He's one of my new favorites in the tournament, but I think Gargano's going to pull out a victory here. And then Lince Dorado versus Rich Swann. I think Rich Swann is going to go on and advance to the next round, man. Can't miss. Cruiserweight Classic is just heating up, and it's just going to get better from here on out, man. So it's going to be unbelievable to see what happens with the next round of this tournament. NXT tonight, man. A little bit underwhelming with NXT. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We've seen the return of Hideo Itami. And one thing right out of the gate that you noticed with Itami was that he had the scar very visible from his 2 surgeries on his shoulder. It's there as a reminder. Everybody sees it. That's the reason why he's been out for close to 2 years. Hideo Itami makes his return to NXT tonight against Sean Maluda. He was the one who actually lost his first round match to Kota Ibushi, and I was actually a little bit upset that they put Sean Maluda in this type of match. This match barely went 4 minutes, and Sean Maluda, it really doesn't make any sense to me because he took Kota Ibushi to the limit in the first round of the Cruiserweight Classic, but then gets squashed by Hideo Itami. To me, that really doesn't make any sense. And I think Sean Maluda, the way he pretty much showed himself to the WWE audience with the Cruiserweight Classic match against Ibushi, he's worth a lot more, man. And Maluda is fucking good. So the fact that they put him in there as a certified jobber in a squash match against Hideo Itami really doesn't make any sense to me. And the one thing that I'm concerned with Itami is I hope the fans and the crowd really start getting behind him again. You know, the close to 2-year layoff could really do long-term damage for Itami's momentum. Because when he was there before he got hurt, people were fucking rabid for this guy. They were ready for him. He most certainly would have been NXT champion, at least within the time frame that he's been out. So I hope that he has it within him to develop that momentum again and the fans get behind him. I don't want him to go cold. Because I honestly do believe when Nakamura beats Joe at NXT TakeOver Dallas, I think we're going to be set up with Hideo Itami versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship. That's just my opinion. I could certainly see them going there. But, again, I hope Itami can develop that momentum again. And I did not like that Maluda was put in this match and pretty much squashed by Itami when he brought Kota Ibushi to the limit. I don't know, man. Maluta's worth more than that. He's better than that. But anyway, Hideo Itami with a huge running knee at 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And he wins his debut match back from injury. Mojo Rawley versus Chris Atkins. This really didn't even happen. No time as Samoa Joe comes in DQ at 23 seconds. Mojo Rawley beats Chris Atkins via DQ and Samoa Joe pretty much on a fucking rampage. Regal made the match against his will. Samoa Joe, if you guys remember, said last week that I want to talk to you privately in the back and I want to give you my recommendation about who I think is the opponent right for a championship match at NXT TakeOver Dallas. Brooklyn. I got Dallas on my mind because I'm talking about Sami Zayn and Nakamura before. But he wants to choose his own opponent, and he wants to give Regal his recommendation for a worthy challenger at Brooklyn. So obviously Regal did not listen. The match is booked, Nakamura versus Joe for the NXT Championship at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, August 20th. And now, because Regal won't listen, Samoa Joe is going to wreak havoc over the show. So Regal didn't want to listen, and Joe says if Regal doesn't want to listen at all, he's going to fucking do whatever he can to disrupt his show. So he beats down Mojo Rawley, and Rawley again gets up, fights back, leaves Joe laying in the ring, and then he's walking up the ramp with the referees trying to break this thing up, has his back turned, and Samoa Joe attacks him from behind and gets the coquina clutch on the ramp, choking him out. And Samoa Joe is an absolute fucking beast. I cannot wait to see what he brings to the table with Nakamura. So Mojo Rawley, man, I want to see more of him on SmackDown. Hopefully they, kind of start using him and Zack Ryder. I would love to see them in the tag team division, getting their feet wet and pretty much making a name for themselves on SmackDown. I think that team could go a long way and be a viable contender for the new tag team championships that are rumored to be coming to SmackDown. But Joe disrupted the show, choked out Mojo Rawley, and he's got a date with Nakamura on August 20th. Bayley has been studying Asuka's matches, and she thinks she is ready now to reclaim the NXT Women's Championship. Asuka comes in and says, not so fast. Asuka, everybody's worried about her not speaking English too well, but it's more her mannerisms and her facial expressions and the very little that she says that really gets the point across. You really don't need Asuka to come in there and fucking cut a 10-minute promo. She doesn't need it. It's mostly in her facial expressions and her actions, so that's where that comes from. Asuka versus Aaliyah. Aaliyah, better than Eva Marie. We haven't seen much of Aaliyah. She's fucking leaps and bounds better than Eva Marie. I wish we would see more of her because I believe she has the in-ring skill from when we watched her on Breaking Ground. She didn't know what the fuck she was doing. She was clueless. They didn't want to use her. They thought she wasn't ready. She's got a great look. I think she would be ready if they give her more television time and an opportunity. But this pretty much was a jobber match. It was a squash match. So Bayley was sitting at the announce table with Phillips and Corey Graves. During the intro, or the introduction of this match, Asuka takes a fucking folding chair and places it in the aisleway, inviting Bayley to sit down to get a front row glimpse of what is going to happen to her at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So Bayley says, okay. She walks down to the ramp. She fucking takes the chair and tosses the chair. She doesn't want to sit. She's standing there with her arms crossed. Listen, I got a good view. I got a better view than most. Let me see what you're made of. Okay, let me see what you're trying to get across. So at the end of this match, Asuka totally, and I would not say she went heel here, but she was definitely showing more heel-like emotion and heel-like mannerisms in this match. Mainly with the Asuka lock. She did not want to let go of the Asuka lock. Fucking Aaliyah was violently tapping out. Referee had to break it up. Bayley comes in the ring, scares Asuka off to finally let go of the Asuka lock. And Bayley's like, what the fuck you doing? This is not necessary. Asuka smiling, shoves the championship belt in Bayley's face. And pretty much we are off to the running with that championship match. Next week, we're going to get an official contract signing between both Bayley and Asuka to make that match official at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. Look back at Oney Lorcan. Hate the fucking name, but he's a beast in the ring, beating Ty Dillinger in an upset last month. They might have things planned for Oney Lorcan going forward in WWE. He wasn't sure why people were calling it an upset, but he knows that he won and that the competition is going to get stronger. He needs to go back to his roots, whatever the fuck that means. Ember Moon is coming. I believe she's debuting at NXT TakeOver, which is fantastic. This will be my first look at her. You guys, you fucking elitists out there, you fucking goons out there, you're praising her. She's the one that's gonna take Bayley's spot. She's the next fucking coming of the women's division. I can't wait, man. I love new talent. She's debuting at TakeOver. The vignette looked like something out of fucking Lord of the Rings with a fucking huge eye, and she was standing in the back as a silhouette. She was wearing this robe. I don't know, man, but it's going to be interesting to see what's happening here. Obviously, she's being set up possibly for Asuka following the Bayley feud at NXT TakeOver. So it's going to be interesting to see who they actually get in her debut match at TakeOver. Very exciting stuff there. Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, man. Holy shit. His theme song is fucking great. I'm actually I wish I could play the theme song for this video, but I can't. Otherwise, I get flagged for a copyright strike. But Bobby Roode, man, you guys will listen to it on my iTunes podcast because you know for a fact I'm playing that shit on my podcast to open up the next show, man. That shit is beast. Bobby Roode, his first appearance as a member of the NXT roster, says that the wait is over because he is NXT. A few months ago, he was in Dallas for WrestleMania weekend, and he knew it was the place he needed to be. He was very lucky to be with those fans because they're just as much as NXT as anyone else. Roode is ready to take NXT to the next level, but it needs him just like everyone else here needs him. Now that NXT has found their new superstar, his face will be on billboards in New York City, Times Square, on television campaigns, so that he can take the company to corporate America and Wall Street. Then this place will be filled with presidents of Fortune 500 companies instead of people in cargo shorts, overly large t-shirts, overweight fucking degenerate goons. He is a superstar from his watch to his socks to his shoes because there has never been anyone like him. From now on, NXT will be glorious, man. Unfucking believable. His theme song is so great, man. You got to hear the full thing on WWE's YouTube page, WWE Music, I believe, on YouTube. It's got that Queen-type vibe, man. I love it. Absolutely fucking beast. Standing next to Shinsuke Nakamura, that's probably my new favorite theme song in WWE, man. Bobby Roode, can't wait to see more of him. I believe he will be at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn as well. I don't know what he's going to be doing, but I do believe he will be fighting at the pay-per-view. And finally, in the main event, TM61 versus The Revival here. The Revival's fucking awesome. TM61, up-and-coming tag team, full of fucking potential. I absolutely really enjoy these guys' work. Non-title match here. Revival wins DDT. There was a sequence on the outside where one of the members of TM61 was running and chasing one of the members of the Revival around the ring, and they went into the ring, and it was like a chase, which ended up into a DDT, man. So he got completely fucking trolled, and that ended the match at 11 minutes and 16 seconds. Post-match here, the Revival brags about beating a bunch of teams, but Gargano and CIAMPA, love them, come and interrupt and pick up imaginary names off the ground about some of the teams that the Revival dropped. So, teams like the Hollywood Blondes, Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, Pikachu and Charizard to play off the fucking Pokemon Go sensation. Fans, legit, full sail in a full Pokemon chant. Unbelievable. Gargano, serious question. Have you caught them all? And then the challenge is issued, but Revival goes to leave, triggering a brawl. Wilder is taken down, and Gargano counts, which was fucking fantastic. Gargano counts his own 3 count to end the fucking show, and they both stand there holding the NXT Tag Team Championships, man. That was fucking so great to see. So, NXT, man, it was a decent show. They built nicely towards NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Wasn't really the most overly exciting show, but they're doing their job, man. They're building the feuds that need to be built. They're building the marquee matches that we're going to see at TakeOver Brooklyn. Coming attraction for Ember Moon, Bobby Roode, and his fucking fantastic theme song. And then we had the Cruiserweight Classic tonight. Hideo Itami returned as well on NXT. So all in all, it was a very newsworthy, noteworthy evening. You guys missed that Cruiserweight Classic between Gargano and CIAMPA. Go check that shit out, man. Thank you guys so much for watching my review and listening to me. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. Thank you for all the fucking support lately, man. You guys are absolutely fucking killing it. It was just like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago we were at 50,000, man. We're already at 60,000, man. This is going to be your #1 fucking destination for WWE right here on YouTube.com going into the future, man. I absolutely love what I do for you guys. You guys are fucking making me so fucking happy, and I hope you guys stay with me for this journey, man. It's unbelievable, and I'm so fucking proud to be doing this for you guys, man. It makes me happy, and thank you guys so much for all the continued love and support. Like I said, hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. Subscribe to my buddy Falcon down in the description below, man. Mr. Tommaso Ciampa himself. Go get that shit. Go listen to him. And that's pretty much it, man. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to pledge and donate to the fucking channel and my cause, go read the mission statement on there as well. And Pro Wrestling Tees, barbershopwindow.com if you guys want your own merchandise for my podcast, Off The Script. Speaking of that, I'll be back right here with Off The Script on Friday. Until then, take care, guys. I'm JD, and I'll see you all for episode 129 of Off The Script. Go check the iTunes podcast as well. Raw review, Smackdown review, Off The Script coming on iTunes as well this weekend. Make sure you guys check that out, and I'll see you guys later this week for episode 129. Talk to you later.